Whitepine has more secrets than you might think. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Animation Era, the series where certain topics such as gaming, film, or religion. Today's subject is the Secrets of Whitepine. If you haven't seen Whitepine, it is a show created by Ivory TV over on YouTube, featuring a bunch of different Minecraft YouTubers that I will get into later in this video. Now, this video was going to be about Stolitz and the future and its heading, although that has been postponed to next month only because this month we're getting another short and next month we're getting the Ghostbusters episode. And I think it would be more appropriate if I make that video for next month, maybe after or before the episode comes out. Knowing Vivzy Pop, it's probably going to come out on like 30th or 31st or something. So I'm more excited to do this before that episode comes out, but I could do it after because I don't think it would add much to the story. Now, what is Whitepine about? Whitepine is about a girl who leaves her hometown to go work in another town for this very rich family in the town of Whitepine. And this rich family is the Hemlocks. There are 6 family members in the Hemlocks, and one of them is very key to the storyline and I think will be a future plot point for this show. Now, there's really 2 main characters you really should know about is Ivory and Ciraptor. These are the 2 characters that we see majority of the screen time in the first episode. Ivory is obviously the main character and the creator of the show, so that makes sense. Ciraptor is just a supporting character. He is, I would say, consider a main character, but over Ivory, he's kind of a friend, or might be leading up to maybe a relationship. It's not very clear, but from the way that they talk to each other, it could lead up to that point, but it's too early on to know anything about that. Now, one of the most important side characters that you probably should know is Clown Pierce. You might see Clown Pierce from a lot of his lifesteal videos, which I personally know him from, and then I saw him in the show. And he's basically controls all the staff, manager, hires new people when that's needed. He's one of the first characters you see once Ivory enters the mansion. The next one is Pyrocythe, or Pyro. This is the oldest Hemlock sibling and the Hemlock who gets majority of the screen time in the first episode. And there's a lot of secrets with Pyro that we might see in a future episode, including some plot points that could be interesting. As said by Ciraptor, Pyro is one of the most chilled and laid-back Hemlock siblings. Pyro's father and his other siblings might be more strict when it comes to the staff, but Pyro is really laid back. Another important character is Mysticat, or Misty, known in the show. Mysticat is one of the characters that actually dies at the end of the first episode, meaning that this could kick off into a murder mystery type show, kind of like the board game Clue, if you guys have ever played that. And the last important character is Zombie Ward, or Zombie, head of the house and the dad of all the Hemlocks, the main guy. Now, he only says 1 or 2 words in the first episode, but he could be a very important future character, only for the point that since this will go into a murder mystery, he could be one of the main suspects for that murder mystery, or he could not be. Although he's very looked down upon by a lot of the staff, and including Pyro, which he's not a huge fan of his own father. Now, the theories and mysteries of Whitepine is who could be the murderer. The most common mystery and the most interesting one that you can even think of, because there isn't a lot of story to go off of. Whitepine is kind of a slow story. It has a slow burn into it. If you don't have a great attention span, I don't recommend you watch it, but it has a very slow burn and it's not rushing. It's not going anywhere. In fact, the first murder is actually seen in the last 20 seconds of the episode, so you can tell that they're going slow with this, they're not rushing it, and I love that when it comes to shows. Things like Murder Drones and maybe the Digital Circus might seem a little bit rushed to end or rushed to get in. I think Murder Drones had a great start getting in, but I think it was very rushed to end. With this, it has a slow burn getting in, and I hope the ending is slow and isn't like rushed like crazy. So who could be this murderer? One of the murderers could actually be Pyro. Now, hear me out. I will give credit to my friend Tater Tot, go sub to him on YouTube, because he brought up a really good point that Pyro could be a werewolf. Now, just saying that out loud, people will think, well, no, obviously he's not. But there's a couple points that's like interesting, because the way Pyro gets up in the morning and he starts vomiting right away, that vomiting has to do from something. It doesn't even sound like he has a cold or the flu. It doesn't even sound like he has the flu. His vomiting could be something from the night before. He could just be hungover, that could be an option, but they wouldn't add the vomiting for no reason, and they also did not explain the vomiting whatsoever. Another point to further support this werewolf theory is when Mr. Cat came in and was asking, did I make the fire? Pyro was kind of like, I don't usually wake up this early, because Raptor earlier said that they wake up from around 10, and Pyro woke up earlier, which isn't normal. Mr. Cat then asked, did you have a bad dream? And Pyro doesn't answer the question, kind of stalls that question, which could be interesting regarding either a past trauma or could be regarding last night. Typically, when it comes to brains, what you see last night is what you might portray in your dreams, especially if you see something that either startles you or freaks you out. Although I think the main story could be Pyro is a werewolf, it is a very far stretch. We do see later, after all the family is done and everything like that, after they're all awake, we do see when Ivory is getting ready to shut down the day and brush off her duster, she looks into the forest and it cuts for a split second, cuts back, and then she even stares intensely into the forest. And obviously werewolves, we know in mythology, is like they live in the forest, they keep their distance. And I find it interesting that she looks into the forest. Now, the murderer could be someone we have not met yet. It could be someone that lives in the forest that has a motive to kill, like an ex-family member or something like that. Another murderer actually could be Raptor. Now, this might be a very far stretch as well, just kind of like the Pyro theory, but Raptor might have an unrevealed motive that it has been related to the staff and the family. Raptor's family could have been abused by that family earlier on in life. And going on from that theory from Raptor's could be abuse from his parents or something like that. Ivory for sure has some previous trauma. Whenever we see Mr. Cat's body and we hear the screaming in the background, Ivory's vision kind of blurs and the sound fades out with a ringing, which could be from some previous trauma from either experiencing a murder or maybe her parents died or something related to that. She's also very quiet. She respects authority and she's kind of scared of authority. She says sir all the time. Regarding even her co-workers, she says sir, because in the first half she literally calls Raptor sir. Now, this could be either past trauma or this could just be respect, but I think regarding the last 20 seconds where her vision and her sound goes blurry and she hears ringing, could be that she's experienced a murder like this before. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't miss next video, because next video is going to be about Stolitz and I'm really excited for that video. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Goodbye.
So you are Ivy, correct?
Ivory, sir.